Today I'm going to be giving some critical information about how you can get through college the best possible way, how you can be successful in the professional world, how you can use that money or earn enough money to be successful owning your own business. I've talked with a lot of professionals. I have done a lot of homework on this. I actually did it for my wife's cousin who is in college right now, and he was seeking some advice, and I wanted to make sure I gave him the best possible advice. So I spent a ton of time compiling all the info, and I think this is absolutely critical. Please listen to all of this. Everything we do here is for free. I will never charge for a course, but this information is so freaking good. I just hope you tag along with us. And of course, I want you to be as successful as possible. I would love for you to own this vast collection that I have been so blessed to be able to own. Just stick with us. And you know what? I'm actually going to take you through my childhood apartments, 5 different apartment buildings that I lived in as a child that helped me kind of have my humble roots. And if the people are home at the specific apartment that I lived at, I'm going to pay their rent for the month too. Why not? Being a business owner or being self-employed is definitely not for everybody, right? In fact, only 9% of people in the USA are self-employed or are business owners. It is incredibly rewarding. It requires a unique skill set, a ton of hours, sacrificing time with family, with friends, but ultimately it's one of the best things that I've ever done. I've said it before, but unfortunately YouTube has jaded a lot of the young generation, those in their teens, still in high school, into thinking that everybody can be their own boss, they can drop ship, they can do this, they can do that, and it's just not possible. It's not feasible. Now, for the other 91% of people that are not self-employed, there is a very good path to becoming a business owner at some point in time. You don't need to do it right out of high school. It can be done after college. So then you have to position yourself for how can I do the best that I can at college, make sure that I'm picking the right degree, and ultimately become successful enough or have enough finances to be able to launch or build my own idea. So we're going to kind of cover a little bit of that today. Of course, heading into trades is also a really good option. There are a lot of students that end up going straight from high school into the trades, and those people can actually end up making a really good living because they're getting a head start and they're not finishing college with a bunch of debt. So I want to make sure that it's very clear that that is still a really good option for building up a trust fund of money, I guess. Now, circling back to the conversation around attending college, one of the worst things that you can have is indecision leading into college. And doing that oftentimes leads people into taking a year break. And I think that that's something that has been the downfall of a lot of people. They take that year, it turns into 2 years, it turns into 3 years, and ultimately they end up going to college way too late or they don't go at all. So make sure that you're actively working on what your major is or what your decision is as you're finishing your senior year or even your junior year of high school. It's critical that you get right into that because the sooner that you get into college, the sooner you can start making money. Unfortunately, employers do want to see that you had the tenacity to finish a 4-year degree in college. So even though people like Natalia, who is our brand director, uses literally, in her own words, 1% of her college degree, and I think the vast majority of people that I've spoken to don't use more than 10% of their college degree. It's actually kind of sickening. Even though that's the case, employers that are hiring absolutely want to see that you have that on your resume. Again, it's unfortunate. That's just the way that it is. It shows that you may not necessarily be the most qualified in that particular skill set, but again, it shows the tenacity that you had to get through 4 years of college because going through college is not oftentimes easy. I also do want to be clear that if you're going for a higher level position within a company right out of college, unfortunately nowadays you have to have your master's degree, so even more schooling. Lots of memories here, lots of memories. This is the first apartment building that I actually remember. I lived in several other apartments before this, maybe 4 or 5 more. This is the first one I really remember. Ring every button, Tommy.
Please wait to connect to voicemail.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Homie.
Dude, this is the elevator that made me scared of elevators. I do not.
Let's ride in it. For old time's
This is the same elevator.
For old
Nothing.
time's
This thing is 30. No.
Oh, they fixed it.
Wait, was it broke again? Another point? No, then. Let's go. Let's do it. No.
Talk here first. Second floor. Just one floor.
No. I'll go
You won't do
it's
it.
like literally I was 4 or 5 years old. I go in there, it's thunderstorming, and the door, I'm like, me and my brother who's 3 years older than me get stuck in there, and like that's terrifying when you're a little kid. It was nice of that guy to let us in. Speaking of which, as you go to college, you may want to go to college with your friends, and you know what, that's actually totally okay. There's kind of like 3 different tiers of colleges in my mind. There's the very entry level, which may be a community college, and I went to a community college, Phoenix University, online school, and then you have your prestigious Harvard, and then there's a whole bunch kind of in the middle, and really that middle or that high tier are just fine, and even the community college is actually totally fine. It's totally fine going to school with your friends as long as they're good people. You don't want to surround yourself with people that are going to get you in trouble and really ultimately are going to make it harder to study and be successful. So if you have a good, solid group of friends, it may even be a better or a benefit to you to go to school with them. Let's try this out. Dog is home.
Sorry about that.
I'm doing a vlog, so I have a YouTube.
Sorry.
What kind of dog is it?
Black Lab Border Collie.
Ah, very cool. Doing a quick vlog, and I'm going through. We have a decently successful YouTube channel. I've got a big car collection around here. Oh, do your thing. Anyway, shooting something, and I used to live in this apartment, so we're retracing where I live. So I lived in this apartment for like 2 years.
Okay.
This is 104, right?
Yeah.
I did it right. Anyway, just visiting through the stuff. What are the rents here right now? I'm just totally curious.
So we just renewed our lease for the end of next month rather, and it's $1,610.
$1,600.
Yes.
Holy gosh! All right, well, I'm paying a month's worth of rent for every apartment that I went in, so I'm gonna give you $1,610. All right.
Oh my God.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll just round it up to 1,700. Give it a little bit of grocery money. There you go.
Wow,
That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That was very kind.
You bet. You bet. Have a good day. We don't really want to show the people. We want to respect their privacy. She's in the middle of work too. One little side note on the schools. It is kind of unfortunate, but the bigger, the more well-known the college, the more likely you are to help get ushered into a job, because companies will recruit kids directly out of those schools. So there is a slight advantage to going to a bigger college or university. And oftentimes those bigger college or universities, especially if they're in the state that you're in, aren't necessarily that much more than smaller ones. That's just a big benefit. And respectively, those same colleges usually have a stronger alumni group, and those kind of do the same with helping you get ushered into a better place of, maybe not a better place, but they just give you more opportunities for employment. So that's also something to keep in mind. On to the next. I said we were gonna do 5 apartment buildings. I mistakenly meant to say that we were doing 4 today, sorry. Also, another really important thing to keep in mind is that the particular type of college that you go to will largely be looked at upon employers, and I don't necessarily mean the quality of the school, I just mean the quality of the school's program. So University of Illinois, as an example, has a great finance program, so they are far more likely to have more offers for jobs from banks and other stuff like that, whereas Northern Illinois University does not have as strong as a finance program. So there won't be as much recruiting happening from external jobs. Another kind of crappy part about society, you know how they say the rich get richer? Well, a more prestigious school like an Ivy League school, unfortunately an employer will look at that and they will assume that that particular person has a more solid work ethic because they were able to endure what might be the most difficult selection of courses or teaching. But honestly, I would absolutely not let that hinder upon any decision, because you can still get a phenomenal job right out of college at one of those colleges kind of in the middle of all those buckets. And again, I went to community college and I think I've done okay for myself. I've also had a lot of people ask me about doing a double major, and if you have the availability and the time and the mental patience to be able to do that, why not do a major and a minor or 2 majors? It gives you a little bit more choices as you graduate college, but what's very important to not do is overwhelm yourself. You need to pick the major that's more important to you and make sure that that gets all of its focus. If the second major is distracting, taking away from or hurting that first major at all, you should stop it. It's not worth it. Start stop, really? Start stop in a P1 that gets 7 miles to the gallon. That's the silliest thing. Or it just broke down. They didn't have start stop in this year, did they? Oh no, it does have start stop.
I just don't know where the button is.
You couldn't deactivate it back in the day? That first apartment building used to be really, really, really dumpy. I know that they've fixed it up since I've been there, because we actually have some friends that have lived in that complex, so it is a lot nicer. I was shocked at what the rents are at right now. As you may know, I owned a bunch of apartment buildings, and there wasn't a single, even my biggest units, my 3 bedrooms, were not even close to that rent rate. And those were in a nice area, so I was shocked. I'm gonna have to go around to the backside of this one. I don't remember the apartment number, but I do remember the apartment, so we'll figure it out. A lot of memories from here, man. I also forgot to mention at that last apartment we were at, there's a park across the street, and there was a guy with his hanging out in his 20s. His was just hanging out of his shorts, like playing on the playground, and you don't know it at the time, but like thinking about it later, I'm like, we were in some real danger there, man. Oh, I don't know the unit number. That'd be awesome if it just worked. Oh, I bet that can be broken in so easily though. Tommy's gonna do it. Gotta go behind it, in the back. Dude, so time or 2 in my day. Just crazy. This feels more like it.
Yeah, that too.
Hello. Hey, I'm just visiting, shooting a quick vlog, and I just had a question to ask you if you don't mind. How you doing, brother?
All right.
Hi. I'm shooting a video, and I used to live in this apartment
Oh,
So
in this
I'm just
one?
yeah, this exact apartment. And so we're just finding out what is the current rent right now in this building? How much is the rent?
I don't know. I bought this place.
Oh, you own it?
Yeah.
Oh, mortgage. What is like a mortgage payment here?
I'm paying $800.
Okay. Well, I want to pay your mortgage today, so that's all I want to do. I'm going to pay your $800, and I'll be on my way. Yeah, why not? Why not? Because I grew up right in this same apartment, so I'm just paying it for. Let me make sure I got 800. 3, 6, 7, 8. There you go. That's for you. Nothing?
Sure?
Yeah, that's it, man. It's yours.
I saw you got a nice car over there. You got a nice car.
Yeah. I grew up here, and now I worked really hard, and now I've got a nice car collection. But we're visiting 4 different apartments that I lived in, so I lived in this same apartment for like 2 years. So I want to make sure I take care of a month's worth of mortgage for you. That's for you.
You sure?
Positive. It's yours.
I'm not
Take
going
it.
to pay anything?
No, it's yours. I'm leaving. I'll take the money and I'm going. No. I swear, nothing. No, I lived in this apartment when I was a kid, and I want to make sure I take care of the people that are in it now. There you go.
So
Thanks.
what do you do for a living now?
I own wheel and tire businesses. I sell wheels and tires on the internet, and then of course I've got the car collection, and I own some Pet Supplies Plus stores too.
So those 2 cars are yours over there? I saw just.
Yeah, those are mine. I've got about 25 cars, but those are 2 of them.
What's your name again?
Steve
Steve.
Hamilton. Awesome. Well, there you go.
I've been living here since 2006.
Really? I lived in here in like 1991 or 1992.
What year did you move?
We were only here for 2 years, so maybe 92.
Oh.
I went to
Are you sure-
Western
are you sure
Trails.
about this one?
It's all yours. It's all yours.
This is not drug money, right?
No. That's for you, okay?
Thank
Thank you, sir. You bet.
Yeah.
Have a good day, sir. Okay, $800 a month is more my expectations. This is the most important part of the whole video. After this, just shut it off. No, I'm just kidding. There's lots of other good stuff to come, but the most important thing that you can possibly do is when you, I'm gonna stop for this one because it's that important. When you decide or when you think you know what you wanna do, you have to go shadow someone. So let's say you're a senior in high school, or you're in the summer transition into college and you wanna be in finance or you wanna be in sales. You freaking have to go and spend a day with someone that is in that field, real life at work. Trust me, you're a young kid, someone is gonna wanna help you, absolutely. If you know a banker, if you know someone that's a FedEx sales rep, if you know somebody that is in accounting, go spend a day shadowing them. That will change the paths of so many people if they understand what happens in a day's worth of work in that other person's life. Because oftentimes people get out of college and they realize that the job does not meet their expectations. So save yourself the hassle of swapping what your major is right now. Go find someone that you know that is in a field. If you're looking for finance, spend a day with a VP at a bank. If you're looking for sales, spend a day with a salesman at FedEx. If you're looking for accounting, spend a day with an accountant. If you're looking for marketing, spend a day with a few different people, because marketing could be a lot of different things. Internet could be for magazine publishing, if there are any people like that left. You have to do that. Most important freaking part, please. I lied and I said that last one was the most important thing, but it's damn near the most important thing. But the most important thing is actually to do something that makes you happy. I've told the same thing to my kids, and yeah, my kids may be in a little bit different situation because they're probably going to be taken care of and that's not their fault. But even if I had nothing right now, I would much rather my kids do something that they love and make $10, $20, $50, $100,000 less than be stuck in a job that they are not going to like. So piggybacking this off the last comment I made in that you should shadow someone, make sure that you love what you are doing before you go deep dive into a career. Money is not the most important thing in the world. It's far more important to be happy, and I would want nothing more than my kids to be happy, even if they are not making quite as much money as they could in another profession. And if you're unsure of your major, which a lot of people are, you could pick like a general thing like business administration, because a lot of the classes that you're going to take within a business administration regimen of classes are going to translate well into other things, finance, marketing. So stick with something like that if you are unsure, but make sure that you do go visit someone, spend a day with them, and you're going to have to figure out what you're doing by year 1 or year 2 of college, so that you don't spend a bunch more money extending your college to year 5, year 6, and so on and so forth. It is weird how you just memory lane, like we'd play in that ditch over there. There was a card shop, there was a sub shop over there. I was riding a kid on a bike. He was sitting on the bar in front of me and his leg got stuck in the front wheel and he broke his leg right over there. I remember my dad my dad would go cash his paycheck and turn it into cash right away. I remember he lost his wallet. He had just gotten his paycheck, he lost his wallet, and so many people live paycheck to paycheck, and that's just the way that it is, unfortunately. And having somebody just give him this kind of money would have changed his year probably. So I hope that this has a positive effect on people, and it's probably something I would have never forgotten. So also, there was a door. This door used to swing into here. And there was like the door stopper, something, see? There was a hole here. There didn't used to be this board or this. And the door would create a hole here. So the guy patched it freshly. And my brother and I, took the gob of fresh cement and we whipped it up on the ceiling. We came here 10 years later. It was still up there. I was like 20 and it was still up there. I was kind of hoping it would be up there right now, but it's not.
That's really funny.
Gosh, I wonder if there's like a leftover like scrape from them having to peel it off. The owner of the building, I remember his name was Sonny, and we called it Sonny Cement because we would see it every time we walked in the building. There's the Sonny Cement.
This is crazy. It's cool being here, like watching him relive this stuff.
They don't look like they're home. Nobody's home. That's too bad. That's good and bad. I didn't take out enough money. The first one sent me back quite a bit. We should almost just go pay someone else's rent randomly, yeah? How much is your rent, Tommy?
$3.
Too bad. Go to work.
And a bus bacon.
Go to work.
I'll tell that to the next guy. He was actually gonna pay your rent, but instead he said go to work.
We're shooting a vlog. I'm just going to all the places I used to live when I was a kid. You're too young to be the renter here, right? Is it your dad?
My mom.
Oh, your mom rents it? You guys like this place? I have a lot of memories from here, man.
Not really. The rent's really high.
What's the rent?
$1,500 almost.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is your mom home? I just swore in front of her.
Yeah, but she doesn't really speak English.
That's okay. ¿Habla español? ¿Está bien contigo si puedo hablar con ella o no?
That's up to her.
Yo quiero pagar la renta this month. ¿Está bien contigo?
Sure.
Let's go get her, man. 1,500. Will I have enough? 15. I think we'll have. I might be a little short in the next one. That's what she said.
You just Apple Pay them. Zelle. He's like Apple Pay, Zelle, Cash App.
That's true.
Steve's just throwing my
Struggling.
salary around every house we go
I
to.
know,
Just kidding.
Hi.
Hello.
Is it just your mom, no dad?
No.
Oh, she works all on her own?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
¿Solamente hablas español?
Sí.
Ah, está bien conmigo. You tell her that I used to live here. Vivía aquí cuando fui niño y quiero pagar la renta para una persona aquí porque la persona... I lived in 1B allá, pero no están ahí, so you get the benefit. $500 para ti. Okay?
Oh, Dios le bendiga.
Espero que tengas un buen día, señora.
Gracias. Thank you.
You bet. My pleasure. Adios. As we roll to my last and final apartment that we're going to go to today, it's just really important to, I know this is general and cliche, but it is really important, of course, to do your best in college. The better you do in college oftentimes reflects how well you're going to do in the professional world. Now, I'm going to touch more on the professional world because that is an area where, as I go back to my previous most important point, that you should shadow someone, it became number 2 point. But do not shadow someone that is not a high performer. You should only be shadowing someone that is the highest performer in their profession. You don't want to be jaded by someone that is not working hard because, frankly, you want to be inspired and you want to understand what it looks like to be successful at a job. And as I say that, and as you head into your career, there's a piece of advice that I was always told, and that is to be in the top 10% of what you do. That is the way that you work yourself into being a business owner, because you are going to rapidly rise within the ranks of the company that you work for. You are going to earn the most money by doing that, and you are going to probably learn the inner workings of the company and be able to replicate what they're doing, because oftentimes what you lead into relates to the profession that you chose. I was always into cars. I wasn't necessarily in that profession, but I was always into them, and that's what led me into what I do today. So what does that 10%er look like? Most jobs will have an objective measurement of how well you do. Are you closing the most sales? Are you building a brand that is really successful? Are you showing up to work on time? Are you being the most efficient and productive person in the workforce? I think it's pretty easy, and most of us know when you're working with a high performer, and most of us know those that are working with a low performer. That's something that you don't want to be in the middle of, you don't want to be in the bottom of. You want to bust your ass and be in the top of that echelon. I have some phenomenal, important points to learn, just little things that you should learn throughout your college, and actually anybody at any stage in their life. These are such important attributes, and I'm going to discuss them once we get to the next apartment. Cock. I wish my last name was Cock. That's their secret knock. While we wait, some really other important notes. Microsoft Excel, aka Google Sheets, hugely important. Take a course, learn how to use those tools because every profession uses them. I use them every single day. My son's even using them in school, so be proficient in that because you will almost certainly get asked in an interview how good that you are at those. Ask lots of questions in anything that you're doing. Make sure you fully understand the task at hand. If you bring a notepad and you take notes, huge bonus because oftentimes I'll give a lot of instructions and there's no way that people are going to remember them, but they don't bring a notepad and I'm like, I probably just wasted my time. So bring a notepad, take notes. Even if you don't intend on using them, at least shows that you had the desire to learn. One of the most important tools to be successful as you're in your profession is communication. Be a top-notch communicator. You have to communicate, over-communicate if anything, follow up, make sure that you are really on top of communicating. And then of course, make sure you manage your email inbox. Use starring, labeling. I taught Tommy, I taught Natalia my system of managing my inbox. Whenever I see someone that has 3,000 emails that's in the professional world, I'm like, that dude probably doesn't really have his organizational or his stuff together. Are they gonna be home, Tommy?
Like a little louder, maybe?
I do have a little bit of money left over. Many of you may not know, but all of the money that this channel makes goes directly to me and my wife. But then we donate it all to charity. Every single penny of what we make on this channel goes right to charity. So it's important that you know that. And of course, the money we make from this YouTube channel is the money that we used to be able to support these very people's rent, of course. So it's a good thing. One thing that I learned today was that rents are actually unaffordable at this point. Like, I know the apartment buildings that I lived in, and I know that they were definitely not the prettiest, and knowing how much they are now relative to what the average income is, that's a little scary. Like I said, the apartment buildings that I own were actually nicer than this, and my rents were a lot cheaper. So maybe I was just undercharging for rent. But to me, it's kind of criminal what a few of these people are paying. And it's important that I'm able to get out and kind of understand that here and there. So good lesson for me to just understand that, or be reminded that it is a struggle to get by, and that it's important that we recognize that. I wish the last person was home, but they weren't. It is what it is. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was a more general video, but in the future, we are going to try and do more stuff like this, but also hone in on some of the subjects that we talked about. So like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.